What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Nightmare 10 once again, and I'm back with a wrestling video as I promised in my last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's the one right before this. It's about what I got for Christmas, different things. I know it was pretty far after Christmas, whatever. Recorded that last week, but like I promised in that video, I said I was gonna make some more wrestling videos. Try to, especially leading up to Mania. After Mania, it might drop off again. Let's hope it doesn't. There's not a lot to talk about. Most of the time, I'm over it by the time. Plus, my camera situation right now, you've heard about that a million times. But anyways, I don't have a camera of my own right now. I could record on my cell phone, but I don't exactly have like a stand and all that stuff, and I don't like holding it. I like using my hands, as you guys can tell. So there's that. But there's only 18 people, so I thought you guys wanted some more videos. You watched some, more of my recent, my unboxing, my other different stuff. If you haven't seen those, check them out. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button and all that jazz. But anyways, as you can see from the title, I don't even know what the title is going to be, but I'm sure it'll relate to something that I'm talking about. No, I want to talk about Dolph Ziggler. It's been something I've been wanting to talk about forever, and really with Twitter, I don't really have the, that's probably the number one reason why I don't make videos as much, is because on Twitter I can just vent and say my piece and move on, and of course I do the YouTube take, so that's for sports, and that takes care of all that. But I did. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan, whatever smart way to say it. He's definitely my favorite wrestler in WWE right now, and it's just something that's been, it irks, it just drives me insane. The fact that he continues to lose over and over and over again, doesn't get, doesn't get the wins that he needs to get. He gets, for instance, I'll just start throwing out examples already. Loses at SummerSlam to Jericho. I think the very next Raw he beats Jericho. And I think he had to cheat to win. My memory's not the greatest, but I think he cheated to win that match too. Sent him home, so I mean, you could say it's the more significant match, and more people watch Raw than would have seen SummerSlam. But pay-per-views are still the wins you need. TLC main event, AJ helped him to win. That's the more recent one. Well, now 20th anniversary of Raw, we had to put up with the fact that he, busted his behind, which he does week in and week out. Most of the time the best match is Ziggler. A lot of the times on the show the best matches involves Dolph Ziggler. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And that's not just one of his biggest fans talking. It's just a fact. Like his biggest win was at Survivor Series. Where in the what's that? I don't know, the traditional Survivor Series match or whatever, and he beat. He was the final. Well, he wasn't the final position. I think it was somebody else on his team as well. But he pinned Wandy. He pinned Wandy Orton. Anyways, he did pin him. Who is now? Which is that a credible win now? I mean, Orton just lost to Wade Barrett. Which is not a bad loss, but which is Wade Barrett, clean win. On Raw that same very night. But no, Super Cena. And let me get this, because I know a lot of 3 people that will watch this video will comment and say, oh, you hate Cena, blah blah blah. First of all, you can ask LV5454 that why I had to pronounce his whole name. Who really knows? Anyways, you can ask LV. I am not a Cena hater. You can ask really anybody. Actually, he's a Cena supporter. But here's the thing, okay? I was always, my biggest thing is I loved, Word Life Cena, back in the day, his original gimmick, loved it. Absolutely, was a huge fan of it. I went to my only Raw, which was the Raw where Bischoff got thrown into the dumpster or whatever and got fired, blah blah. Raw moment, so that was kind of cool. But I was running up and down our little row or whatever. I mean, for Cena, it was just awesome. I mean, that's been a while, but whatever. And if you don't know, I get into shows. I want to have a blast. Me and LV had a blast at WrestleMania last year. So it was last year. So you know that I get into it. So here's back to the original point. I'm running all over the place. I'm trying to keep this decently short. Train of thought lost. No, but okay, Cena. You know, he always, you know, he always gets these wins over to the guys. Like, yeah, okay, sometimes, you know, when he's fighting like guys like Khali and guys like, I mean, I would say Umaga back in the day, rest in peace, would say, you know, okay, he needs to win against those guys. But I mean, then you know, he doesn't lose cleanly to like hardly anybody. I mean, before what was the last? Oh, last year actually was the first time. Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania 28 was the first time that Cena's not fought for the WWE title in like the last. Don't quote me, but it's been a long time. Like I want to say the last time was WrestleMania 20. Yes, WrestleMania 20. I'm not sure if him and JBL main evented 21 or not. Off of memory, I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did actually. So ever since then he's main evented and it was for the title. This last year he still main evented, but it wasn't for the title, so it was a small change. This year probably going to main event WrestleMania again, and it's probably going to be back for the WWE title. I don't have a problem with Cena. I have a problem with the booking. I have the problem with the dude could wrestle. First of all, let me just completely debunk anybody saying that the guy can't wrestle. You know, 5 moves of doom is a popular thing to say. You can't say that anymore. I mean, he can hang with these guys. He's, you know, he helps, you know, it along. And first of all, John Cena is like almost a carbon copy, I would say, of The Rock. I mean, so if you love The Rock and you don't love John Cena, there's something wrong. I mean, they're the exact same wrestler. I mean, that's why the Rock versus Cena feud works so well, because they're the Rock. Cena is the Rock of our generation, so or of this generation, I guess you'd say. So you know, you have to have you have to, you know, have a common ground, which I understand. You know, there is some differences between Rock and Cena, but they wrestle. I think they're more of a entertainment factor, or more of a storyteller in when they wrestle. And I think, you know, yeah, they both can talk on the mic. That's proven. You know, Rock here lately hasn't been, you know, since his comeback in 2011, hasn't been the greatest. He was good on Monday night. He saved that show, in my opinion. Outside of the cage match, but the result, you know, threw that away, which is my point. Why back-to-back Raws? Why does Dolph Ziggler have to lose? Someone's texting me. That's probably D-Flow wanting to say something about wrestling related. But anyways, I'm at D-Flow. You won't watch this, but anyways, got me. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Ziggler. What? Like I said, okay. So back-to-back Raws, he loses, and he loses clean. Like, he does all the cheating, and it doesn't work. You know, and I know after TLC, I was like, you know, well, at least Dolph Ziggler kept his briefcase. But I think what it is like, I'm just trying to find positives out of it. You know, that win really did nothing for him, and it's proof that. Now, yeah, if he ended up beating Cena in the cage and didn't lose last week to Cena, you know, in a normal match or whatever, okay, fine, then, you know, that is what it is. And I'm someone that's always like, you know, when can Cena have he doesn't have a feud with somebody that, you know, that ends at a pay-per-view. I mean, we saw the awful feud with Kane, but I'm not sure. I don't even remember, because I didn't care. That feud was just awful. I don't remember if they fought at the pay-per-view or not. And someone is lighting up my phone. I'll check in a second. But yeah, I just think that gosh, losing my train of thought. If that's Big Red, I'm gonna kill him. Anyways, like, let me get back to my point. All right, Dolph Ziggler. You know, I think that why make him lose? They make him lose. You know, does he ever win? Like, this is from a Dolph Ziggler fan. Like I said, the wins that I pointed out were his biggest wins, I guess you could say. And there's loopholes in them, you know, or there's big asterisks you can put beside them. So it's like, I don't understand why they do that. Like, I don't understand why they put, you know, why they can't give him a credible win. I mean, Wade Barrett beat Orton this past week at Raw. If Orton can take a loss, and Cena can't, well, let him feud with freaking Randy Orton. I mean, that's going to put him huge. That's going to put him over whether Randy Orton is considered a top, like whether you consider, aka WWE, considers him a top guy or not. I just don't understand why you have, you know, Ziggler continue to lose. And it brings back to the point that I've said for so long. What is WWE gonna do when the guys like The Rock? I mean, I think Cena's gonna be here for a while, but I'm saying like guys like The Rock, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker. I'm throwing Big Show out there just because they're happen to use him in a big storyline right now, or as far as he's been in the mix in the last couple of months, as far as, you know, World Heavyweight title. So, I mean, what are you gonna do when they lose? He's got Triple H. I mean, he might wrestle his last match at WrestleMania, you know, or you know, he might. I don't know. As long as Triple H is around, I don't know if I'd say he'd wrestle his last match. But I mean, what are you gonna do when these guys are gone? Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, they're gonna be in trouble, and they're gonna have to force guys down our throat like they did at the beginning with Sheamus. I'm a huge I really like Sheamus now, but because he's not the guy you're shoving down my throat like Ryback. You know, once Ryback doesn't become, it's really crazy if you watch it. A lot of people hate Ryback, but I guarantee you, once he starts, you know, once they back off and they just use him, you know, like they, you know, and then he maybe, you know, works his way back up the top later, people will be okay with him. It's the fact that they just throw some random guy out there and he's automatically at first. They don't lead up to it. They don't build it. They just throw him out there, and that's why people hate him. You know, and it's not their fault necessarily. You know, obviously Ryback and Sheamus and guys like that, you know, want to be, you know, happy with what they got. But I mean, they got stars like Dolph Ziggler. They have stars like Cody Rhodes, who I think I'm a big fan of. Damian Sandow, Daniel Bryan. I mean, everyone loves him. I hate his gimmick, but love him. Who else am I thinking of? And you can throw Kane, I guess, in there as main, but he doesn't really main. I don't know when the last time he made him in for a title. I guess when he won at Money in the Bank would probably be the last time. What was that, 2 years ago? Or yeah, when he won the Money in the Bank and then cashed it in. Who else? There was someone else I want to throw out there. I like Ted DiBiase. He hasn't been around in a while. I think he might be still hurt. I don't know. Or he just doesn't want to wrestle right now. I don't know. I haven't seen him. If he's been on a show, I haven't seen him. But I like Ted DiBiase. I think that they dropped the ball huge with him. You know, even Zack Ryder. I mean, I don't see Zack Ryder as a WWE champion. Not that gimmick, anyways. But hey, I mean, you could have him. He should be the guy that's mid carding, not the guy it's like, you know, main eventers, mid carders, then Zack Ryder. You know, he should be the mid carder guy. You know, but instead you're having Dolph Ziggler's, Wade Barrett's, and all these guys that should have already been up at the top. They're now still in this, you know, ball of, you know, ness. You know, Wade Barrett, of course, is one, and Kofi Kingston's one. I mean, we've seen companies like ROH, Chikara, PWG, all these other companies that can make guys that WWE's going after now. You know, so, and that aren't the quote unquote like big guy or the built guy or the ideal guy. You know, Generico just got signed to WWE, which is awesome. You know, but is he gonna ever be a WWE champion? I don't think so. I mean, I don't even know if Rey Mysterio, I said that weird, but Rey Mysterio, has ever been WWE champion. He's been World Heavyweight champion, but so has the Great Khali. So, you know, when Dolph Ziggler wins the World Heavyweight Championship, if they even let him win it, to me, more and more, would not be shocked if he's the guy they let loose. You know, but you know what they'll do? They're gonna just like fly by, like, hey, we'll just feed him to Cena for a couple months, then feed him to somebody else for a couple months, and then okay, fine, or for a month or so, and then okay, fine, we'll just we need him to win the world title. No one's gonna care. It's like what they did with. I mean, CM Punk lost like I always use this reference, but people forget he lost a lot. Daniel Bryan lost a lot. Daniel Bryan lost 18 seconds at WrestleMania. Was made to look like a complete joke. So, you know, and he is a joke now. I don't care what anyone says. Daniel Bryan is a joke. He's on Team Hell No. Like, that's in their segments. And the one on 20th anniversary or whatever, that was, you know, it was funny. Whatever. You know, but those guys shouldn't be used for that. Santino Marella is hilarious. He should be used in any comedy skit you ever want to use. Or throw in Farouk if you still got him. You know, if he's still around. You know, throw him in on a special show or something. But as far as the 20th anniversary show, thought it was kind of bad, to be honest. Wade Barrett Orton was okay. Ziggler and Cena in the cage was one of the best Raw matches I've seen in a while. You know, maybe that's probably overrating a little bit, but I mean, I'm a Ziggler fan. I liked it a lot. It's just the end result, you know, it just got me out of it completely. But anyways, I don't know how long those videos went, but you know, I guess I'll start wrapping it up. But it's just the Ziggler stuff, man. I don't understand. I don't know why WWE does what they do with him and other people. And you know, I know a lot of people don't. I'm a Miz fan. I like Miz. A lot of people don't, and it's understandable, obviously. When there's other guys that deserve the spot and that sort of thing, but it's just frustrating when you can't like, you're not going to be able to main event a show with the Miz. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Miz is the kind of guy that I think Miz is perfect for a role that, and I think he's feuded with, you know, like a feud with Daniel Bryan, a feud with someone that's not exactly holding the belt right now. You know, like the Miz. You know, they've done Miz someone else that I just can't remember right now. I want to say that they did Miz Jericho at one point, didn't they? Seemed like they did. But like stuff like that, like Miz should never hold the WWE title. He held it once. I'm cool with that. I don't know. He should never win it again. I mean, that Mania match was just law. I was there live, so it was awesome. But you know how it goes. But yeah, it's just frustrating. A couple of things I wanted to vent about on here, and you know. Hope you guys watch this. Hopefully this isn't just falling on deaf ears. But hey, I got it out there, and that's all I needed to do. I'll be back at least next week, leading up to the Rumble. I want to talk about Royal Rumble, and then probably package in like my thoughts from WrestleMania. Get those out there before things start folding. You know, folding or coming into fold. And then I'll pop a video here and there about several different things, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm back, but I'm glad to be making videos again. It's nice to finally, finally make them. So on a more consistent basis. So this is only 2 in the last week, so the last 2 weeks. So we'll see how consistent I stay with it. But anyways, guys, I'm Nightmare 10. I'm out. See you guys later.